Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault. I'm also the author of My Journey to the Fountain of Youth, and it's a book that has a lot of great tips on how to look and feel as young as possible as you age. And today I'm going to talk about ZIX again. So I do have a video out on ZIX, but I want to modify the formula, and I'm going to tell you that formula right now. Okay, so I think the formula was okay. I did mention in the last video that the ethyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol, might dry out your hair a little bit, and there's a benefit though because it helps absorption. But I really think that it's really been drying out my hair, and I'm thinking try something different so that it doesn't, completely dry out my hair, but also put something else in that may help it help the other elements that get absorbed into the scalp. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to tell you what it is. So what I'm going to put in is first I'm going to get some distilled water. I forgot to get that out. And I'm just going to pour a little bit in. I have some lines here. So that's about 9 milliliters of water, distilled water. It should be distilled water as opposed to spring water or anything like that. You want to get distilled water. It's the cleanest you can get. Next thing I'm going to do, and I'm not going to put the ethyl alcohol in, but the next thing I'm going to do is put 6 tablets of, where is it? The zinc. I'm going to put 6 tablets of zinc in. That's going to be 300 milligrams. So it depends on how many milligrams. Mine are 50 milligram tablets, so I have to put 6 in because I'm doubling the dose. I always double the dose because I'm lazy and I don't really feel like making this thing that often, so I'm gonna just double the dose. I'm putting it also in a Vitamix because I'm gonna just crush everything when I get done, and I think it's gonna be in good shape when I do. I'm gonna put 2 tablets of B6 in. These are 100 milligrams, so 2 tablets would be 200 milligrams, because that's what the recipe calls. That's a doubling the recipe. That's what I would put in. And then I'm going to put in, and this is not in the typical recipe, but I put it in. I'm going to put in saw palmetto because that's good for the hair. So I have a tablet of saw palmetto, and I'm going to drop that in. I just open up the capsule and let it in. And I'm going to tell you that saw palmetto is 450 milligrams. These are 450 milligrams a piece, so that's 450 milligrams. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tablespoon of coconut oil in, and this is something that deviates from the normal RIX thing, and I think maybe because when you put it on the morning, people don't want to have oil in the morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be doing this at night, because I really don't feel like, I'm almost out, so I'm almost out there, so luckily I have a spare. So I'm going to grab a tablespoon of coconut oil, and I'm not being perfect about it, so it's like a heaping tablespoon. It's more like a catalyst. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some aloe vera, because aloe vera does have some good absorption properties. So this is what I'm going to really use to replace the ethyl alcohol. It's not going to dry out your hair, but it's going to help absorption. So let me cut that real quick. Got to get a trusty knife. All right, this one will do. That's not a knife. Anyway, I'm going to cut that, and so I'm just going to cut like a little square. Now I would say you got to be a little careful about this because you got to get the peel off or the outside off, and it's a little bit hairy, so you just want to be very careful you don't cut yourself. So I'm going to keep my fingers out of the way. I don't know if you can see this, but here, let me change the camera here a little bit. So all I'm doing is cutting the skin off of the aloe vera. And I'm not really great at this, but there we go. Yeah, just kind of take off the skin. And almost there. And again, I would be very careful how you do this. If you don't, you can probably, if you don't want to deal with this, it's probably better just to buy the gel. But I want it to go natural, so I'm kind of doing that. Whoop. All right, so it does take a little bit to take it off this because I'm not good at it, but you can see I've got some good gel there. I dropped the piece, so I'm not going to use it, but you can see I got some good gel there. So I'm going to put this in the blender. I'm going to pick that up and throw it out. And now I'm going to blend all this because that's all I really need. And again, I didn't really measure out the aloe vera because it's really more just for absorption, so I thought, you know, I didn't have to be perfect with it. So I'm going to blend that up. All right, so I think my formula is ready, and I'm going to pour it in the little bottle here. And the good thing is everything has been pulverized by the Vitamix, so everything is mixed really well. And I'm not going to put it on now because it does have well, wait a minute, sorry about that. I'm not going to put it on now because it has coconut oil, and so I don't want to you know, have it all in my hair right now because it's just the middle of the day. So I will put this on tonight before I go to bed, and I'll leave it on overnight. And I'm going to try this now for a month or so and see what happens. I do think that the other ZIX is working a little bit because I do notice that some of the hairs are coming back. I also, again, I think I mentioned in my last routine, I was kind of off my routine for about 2.5 months when I was traveling around the country. But now that I'm sort of temporarily in a place until my permanent residence is done sometime, I think it's going to be Christmas Eve when I move in now. But I'm getting back to my hair routine, and some of it's actually coming back. So you see, I do have a long journey to go because I was completely bald on the top of my head. I do have some hair, but I have a long journey. So I'm going to hope that this works, and I'm going to be putting it on every night and letting it sit there overnight, and we'll see what happens. And I'll show you down in future videos where I'm at. Until then, I will see you in the next video. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button. And also, please subscribe and click on the notification button to get all this great content that's coming up every week. Thank you.